Everyone is staring at the Persian Gulf right now, holding their breath, waiting for World War III to kick off. Stop. Take a breath. You are watching a highly produced television show, and you are the one paying for the production. In the last 48 hours, the administration issued a 10 to 15-day ultimatum to Iran over its nuclear program. They didn't just send a memo. They moved 2 entire carrier strike groups into the region. Billions of dollars of gray steel floating in the water. Oil prices instantly spiked. The talking heads on your favorite cable news networks are currently hyperventilating about uranium enrichment, global security, and the imminent threat to the free world. It is a beautiful, terrifying, perfectly orchestrated spectacle. But if you want to understand what is actually happening right now, you have to stop looking at the aircraft carriers and start looking at the calendar. I don't do the hysteria thing here. If you want performative panic and partisan cheerleading, you have 100 different channels to choose from. They will gladly sell you your own anxiety. But if you want to understand the actual mechanics of how this world is run, the ugly, boring, transactional truth of it, hit the subscribe button. Because the people running this show rely entirely on your panic. I rely on you paying attention. Let's look at the board. We have an ultimatum, 15 days to freeze the nuclear program, or else. The United States Navy is projecting power. This is the definition of kinetic optics. Now, the media will tell you this is happening because Iran is suddenly inches away from building a bomb. Maybe. But let's be serious. Iran has been weeks away from a bomb since I was in high school. The intelligence assessments have been playing this exact same tune for 2 decades. So, what changed today? I will tell you exactly what changed. The internal polling changed. You know the phrase, wag the dog? It is an old political cliché, but clichés survive in Washington because they are highly efficient business models. The current administration is facing a massive domestic squeeze. The inflation numbers didn't do what the Treasury promised they would do. The base is getting restless. The legislative agenda is dead in the water. And the midterms are casting a very long, very dark shadow. So, what does a CEO do when the quarterly earnings report looks like a train wreck? He doesn't sit there and apologize to the shareholders. He announces a massive, shiny new acquisition. Or, in the business of the American presidency, he moves the fleet. Look at the oil markets. The second that ultimatum hit the wire, Brent crude spiked. Who benefits from that? It isn't you trying to fill up your car in Ohio. It is the domestic energy sector. It is the people who fund the campaigns and sit on the super PACs. By merely threatening a war, the administration just delivered a massive dividend to its major shareholders without firing a single Tomahawk missile. That is an incredible return on investment. It is a wealth transfer masked as a national security crisis. And what about the other side? What about Iran? Do not kid yourself into thinking they are the victims here. Iran is playing the exact same game. Their leadership needs a boogeyman just as badly as Washington does. The Ayatollahs are dealing with a collapsing currency, a broken economy, and a domestic population that utterly despises them. Nothing unites a fractured board of directors like a hostile takeover bid from the outside. Washington and Tehran are not mortal enemies in this specific moment. They are business partners engaged in a highly choreographed public relations campaign. They are mutually sustaining entities. They need each other to justify their own budgets and their own survival. You people watch this stuff and you get emotional. You pick a side. You argue with strangers on the internet about who holds the moral high ground. It is frankly embarrassing. You have to understand that the serious people making these decisions do not operate on your emotional frequency. They do not care about the grand narrative of good versus evil. They care about leverage. They care about controlling the news cycle. $100 billion in military hardware is not deployed to save the world. It is deployed to change the subject. Now, does this mean a kinetic event won't happen? Does this mean nobody gets hurt? Not necessarily. Sometimes the PR stunt gets out of hand. Sometimes someone miscalculates the leverage, A line gets crossed, and a missile actually flies. That is the cost of doing business. And frankly, it is a cost the people in power are perfectly willing to pay, because they are not the ones paying it. The middle class pays it. The kids in uniform pay it. You pay it at the gas pump. You pay it in the creeping inflation at the grocery store, and you pay it with your undivided attention. You are the resource being mined here. So the next time a guy in a tailored suit stands behind a podium with the presidential seal, looks dead into the camera, and tells you that we are on the brink of a historic confrontation for the soul of the free world, do me a favor. Do not look at his mouth. Look at his wallet. Look at his poll numbers. Look at the stock prices of the top 5 defense contractors. The geopolitical chessboard is not a battlefield of ideals. It is a casino, and the house is just adjusting the odds. Do not let them play you. Think about it.